those who are listening to us today many of them are designing plans for organizations, as well as they're human beings who are also thinking about their own futures. And so we have a very informed and I think interested audience. And one of the things that you've been very specific in your language here, but the language that we often use is Roth, and we have non-Roth IRAs, and we've got a lot of common language out there. And when you're talking about how do we balance what's going on, and what's your opinion, employer plans that are Roth, where there is a Roth and a non-Roth offered to people, and then how can you guide us just a little bit through that?
As we'll see, and we have a separate slide just on this topic, the rules to an extent encourage the use of Roth accounts, in particular within employer plans. And I think that's a function, a result of the attractiveness with which the public sees the Roth account. The economics are very different. No upfront deduction, but the payout at the back end is not taxable together with the earnings. A lot of people see that as attractive, and so these rules nod to that view in a bunch of ways. Howard will get into the details. What I would suggest to you, and this is true in a bunch of different respects, and it's consistent with this bipartisan aspect of these rules, is that certain demographic groups would probably find the tax advantage of Roth savings without the deduction up front as less advantageous than other groups. We'll see that some of these technical fixes have limitations on them that Howard and I and you, Lisa, would find to be hardly meaningful. But for certain segments of the retirement saving population, they're very meaningful. And so I think that when thinking about these plan designs, the folks who are making the decisions need to, in a way, step out of their own situations. And this is not an unusual requirement here, but I think particularly step out of their own situations and think about the burden that is imposed by emergency savings accounts, rainy day accounts, repaying student loans. And the good thing about this, Howard said that there are 90 plus fixes, is that there's a little bit in here for a lot of different groups. And so part of why I think one can say that this was a really good illustration of government working, and why I think it'll continue to work this way.